fellow Uniters. Welcome to your Friday morning special program, UIC Liberty TV with Tom Gray. I'm your host, Mr. Right here, Tom Gray. As usual, thank you for spending your Friday morning with me. Of course, we have a lot to get through today, and so we're gonna jump right into it. But I have to take some time and just say a big, big thank you for the supporters that UIC Liberty TV has. Thank everyone for sharing with us. And as usual, like, share, subscribe across all the social media platforms. By the way, our newsletter is out. I want to big up the team for the work they did on that, especially our graphic artist, Maroon X himself, average supporter of the UIC, and all the other members of the team that did such a wonderful work. It has received great feedback so far. So just check our website in a while. You'll find a copy there for you to read. And those of you who are members, access to that right off the bat. Our outreach team, our membership team will be getting that out to you right away. So if you miss anything on Liberty TV, feel free to catch up in our newsletter. Of course, all of this is necessary because the media doesn't bring you all very common sense point of view on all things Jamaica. So let's dive into it this morning and let's start with this. Now, the political ombudsman has written to Mrs. Ms. Michelle Charles. As you know, she's the daughter of Colonel Charles. And the Charles dynasty is one of the dynasties that has sprung up in the Parliament of Jamaica. And any sensible Jamaican would ask, why so many people and their wife and kids ending up in the House of Representatives? Why so many people bringing their entire family to sit in Parliament? Is it that it's such a comfortable place, or is it that they're eager to serve? Or is it something else that draws them from their profession and bring them into this new family dynasty called Jamaican politics? Think about it. Anyway, the political ombudsman wrote to her to say, well, the party, to say she violated the code, election code, because there was an allegation made by the other party that she was handing out $50,000 by a vote. Turned out that her father, who is retired MP, was, according to the report, at a function organized by his private business, was handing out state funds to persons. Now, I find that strange that a person who is no longer part of the government and shouldn't have access to the government apparatus is able to get checks from the government to hand out to people. Right? The report claims that it's part of monies that should have gone to these workers, these place sugar workers, as they call them, $50,000 checks. Okay? But how does someone who is not part of the government get hold of the government money? Is that easy for them to get hold of our money? Is it that easy? Well, I guess it is because you saw the figure that is being lost to corruption on a regular basis. So they must have unchecked access to government monies. How to fix that? This big government that you can't see, so you can't keep an eye on it because one section, when looking at this section, that section over there, that section over there is overview, so somebody doing something that you can't catch. So the UIC solution is to make government streamlined, more effective, more focused. So just look at that. So you think that since she has been found be violating election regulations, there's some serious penalty coming, right? You think that the election result would have been voided since she won the election? Because if you look at it, if you have $50,000 handing out, your opponent don't, that is an undue advantage. And of course, it is not in the rules. So since she used an unfair advantage, you would figure that the race would run over, right? No, she was asked to apologize. That's it, an apology. Now, National Integrity Commission, what do they have to say about that? Here, because doesn't that void her from being a representative because she's incapable of acting ethically? At least that is the implication or the allegation. So what is national integrity doing about it? Does that disqualify her no from holding public office? She see that ethical in getting into the public office. Does it argue that should be unethical, sorry, being in public office? That's my point of view. And again, it's an allegation and I'm no lawyer. Keep your eyes on that. because this is what UIC complains about. And this is what UIC is set and reducing the size of government to make it functional, make it more streamlined, reducing all these bureaucracies that they have about the place, leaking $50,000 here, there, and everywhere. More than that, that's just what we do about it. So that takes us to the big question. The big question today is this: who does the Jamaican government work for? Who do they serve? Do they serve you? Because if they do, I don't see it. Do they serve me? Do they serve us? No, they're putting their families in office, creating these large political dynasties, these wonderful things where their families getting a paycheck. And you have to wonder now, since one person was found, and I'm just talking about this instance and I'm giving all of the benefits of the doubt. And I know you're falling out of your seat laughing, but don't. Let's give them all the, nah, they don't deserve it. If they are forcing themselves into office unethically, are they behaving unethically in office? And are they behaving unethically in other ways? And if a government official behaves unethical, that leaves them open to coercion, blackmail people. So these things that are going on that are illegal right now, that the government is doing to destroy small business, that we all see it and know it and cry about it, does that mean that they are being coerced to do it because they were found and compromised? Think about it. Something to look at. Now we have a minister of health, a finance minister, sorry, that says that government has failed us over 50 years of 16 IMF programs. That's him admitting that the government keeps doing over 50 years something that won't work. Again, they serve us. 50 years of doing it, do they serve us? Now, we have a health minister that is spending money like water to convince people to inject a chemical cocktail into their bodies that they choose not to. Right? These people have said that they have a right, and this right will not be curtailed. But the government now is going to spend monies to get you to take this chemical cocktail. You have to wonder why they would want you to do that. Why would you want to take something that, or why would the government want to convince you to take something that they know you don't want and spend large sums of money to have you do it? UIC believes in your choice, your right to choose. The UIC will always, as a part of its mandate, make sure that that right to choose remains vibrant through all constitutional changes that we are proposing. That is why UIC has always said that Jamaica under UIC government will become a constitutional republic, which means that the sovereignty of the individual will be placed above all else. So it won't be a matter of, oh, you know what, this is in the greater good. As they have said recently, this is in the greater good. So let me just violate your rights. Okay? That's exactly what they're saying. Let me just violate your rights because it is in the greater good. That's exactly what they want us to do. But guess what? UIC won't stand for that. UIC believes in your sovereignty. UIC lives for it. It is in our charter of, well, our manifesto, and will be in any social contract we get into people as if you electing us to office. Here it is. Check out our manifesto. It's right here. Follow the link if you wish. Your personal choices. So he wants to spend a lot of money, convince you to take it because, of course, you need your dollar. You need to be explained to you that you need to take this horrid cocktail. Now, the good news is simply this: information has shown that you have a choice. The information has come out to show that you don't need to take this cocktail, but they are still pushing it. There are several alternative treatments. And bear in mind, I'm not a doctor and I'm not advocating any treatment in any way, neither does the UIC. We're simply pointing out the facts of the situation for you to make an informed decision with the appropriate professional, which is your medical practitioner. But then again, can you trust these people? Right? But bear in mind, when you go see your doctor, he works for you. He's not Jesus. He's not God. Okay? So he needs to give you the tools, information that you need. That is why the UIC believes in your right to choose and will always believe in it and will always endeavor to make sure that that right is protected. But anyway, I digress. So there are about 3 alternative treatments to the coronavirus that is out there that is being used effectively by professionals in the field. These are at different stages. Now, ivermectin recently came on the scene and was being discussed largely by everyone. Everybody wanted to understand what's going on with ivermectin. So the Ministry of Health released its usual long-winded statement telling everybody how horrible ivermectin is, and that it's basically up to your doctor. Well, that's the good news. They admitted that it's up to your doctor to share that information with you to make a choice. But it leaves a lot of questions. Firstly, the new drug that is being pushed that the government is spending a fortune, and I'm not sure the fortune in a bit. You don't believe this comes straight from the Ministry of Health. And I do the research for you so you don't have to do it. But I encourage you to do your own reading. Uniters, I know and love, are people who crave knowledge, crave information because knowledge is power. And I will give every Jamaican, the UIC, every member of the UIC, every member of its officer, every supporter will give Jamaica the information they need to be an educated electorate. So you can't be treated or mistreated by these government officials. So, right now, ivermectin is a drug that has been around for well over since the 1970s. It's called the wonder drug out of Japan. It is used to cure several illnesses and has been shown to be effective against the coronavirus, or what they call the coronavirus. Another drug, inhaled budesonide, which is used regularly to treat asthma, which has been around for a very long time, is also one of those courses of treatment available. But we still get told that you need to take the quote unquote vaccine. So, the Minister of Health, this guy here, he's responsible for several things. But the one I like to highlight is to ensure the provision of quality health services. And we all know that the healthcare system is crap. You're saying that the hospitals are at your limit. Yes, the hospitals are at your limit because they only can hold a limited amount. So you get to that limit relatively quickly. So, them crying, we already know that, right? But if a UIC government was in power, considering the scope of what they are saying, we wouldn't want to restrict any course of treatment, providing that it is safe and effective. We would give the people the choice. We have said that, oh, you can choose which one of the vaccines you take. UIC is not advocating vaccination, at least not for this in any way, shape, or form. But we would say that the people have a choice as to personal choice. And we showed you the manifesto. I showed you the manifesto. You have a personal choice as to what you take is your personal responsibility and personal right. Protect yourself, medicate yourself the way you choose, based on information that's available and the circumstances that you face. So with these alternative courses of treatment for persons who don't want to take the current vaccine that is being pushed, why are they being forced to when there are alternatives? Why is the minister afraid to stand up for Jamaicans' right? Is it that because we keep go begging? Is it that, as I've said before, they acted unethically and were compromised and is being forced to act in this manner? What exactly is it? I mean, we definitely have to look into what is going on and find out why these government officials literally throw us to the wolves. And I do mean literally. But anyway, let's take it a step further. They are advocating or purporting that we are in massive economic slump. But look at this, my Jamaicans, my fellow uniters. This is what is being spent on vaccination. And again, this information is available on the ministry's website. When the alternative course of treatments that I just talked about are way cheaper. So is it that because there's no money in it for the pharmaceutical giants, we can't access these? Is that the question? That is the question I would like to ask. Because 3.21 billion Jamaican dollars is no chump change. And it adds to this already $2 trillion national debt that we have. It adds a lot to it. There's generations upon generations that will need to pay this money down that will not be able to pay it down. This debt is unrepayable. And they just added $3.2 billion to it of unnecessary money and plan to spend another 40 million more. But hold on. There's more. Follow the money. Follow the money with me. There is more, people. There is more. So this is unnecessary spending of the epic, epic kind. I never see a government so hell-bent on destroying its own people. I have to wonder. I seriously have to wonder. But while we talk about medication and what is going on, I'd like to bring your attention to someone. And I tell people that this guy is now my hero for the next generation. This young man, we know him as one of our great sprinters, Mr. Johan Blake. He stood up and privately said that, I'm not taking the vaccine. Somehow they got a wind of it and he came and he asked him through the press and he said, I will not take the vaccine and I'd rather miss the Olympics than take this vaccine. Well, that's guts right there. How many Jamaicans have that? I've heard people say, oh, I'm not going to take the vaccine. And then after the minister bats his eyes at them, say, well, I'm not sure. Now they're lined up to take it. And that's up to them because the UIC believes in choice and you made a choice. This young man has made his choice not to. Now the talking heads of the government, the trolls are out and picking at him, saying, oh, he shouldn't have said it. His statement is unfortunate. Yada, 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 yada. Even the J3As is coming at the young man before they focus on running athletics in these times. They want to censor what this young man has to say from his heart about the present state. Right? But I say to this young man, the UIC supports your freedom of choice, your freedom to speak your piece, and definitely is proud of you. And listen, if you need, and I do mean if you need or even want UIC to be on your side with this, we are. Hit us up. We'll be proud to have you as a member. It's fortuitous people like you, people with the fortitude to stand up to the system, be like as members. Come and join us. This is an open invitation to you, Mr. Johan Blake. UIC would like to have you as a member on this membership role. Okay? Now, the new strategy of the government curb the civil disobedience that is growing, which I personally encourage. I won't speak for the UIC, but I personally encourage civil disobedience because that is the only way to gain your freedom. There's a popular movie line that says, freedom is not given. If it is given to you, it is not freedom. Freedom has to be taken. And that's how we got it from the slave masters. And that's how we will get it from this tyrannical government, which 1/6 of the population elected. A minority government by any standard that is hell-bent on dragging us creaking and screaming into the bowels of the quote-unquote first world governed by men in dark coats in corners. That is what I'm saying to you. Now, we have to look at the government strategy because what they're doing is employing the standard strategy that you see play out in America, for example. They call it naming and shaming, where publicly they call you out and address your phone number and encourage people to call you, harass you, drive by to their horn, say things to you, send you emails, send you letters, stuff like that. It's not to that extent, it's more sophisticated here because Jamaica is a sophisticated place, believe it or not. That is what is happening to us. So, what they have done is employ the name and shame game. Let me show you what is going on with this piece of trickery by your government, or very unethical and morally bankrupt government, filled with friends and family members, okay, where they're going there to take over our parliament and run it like a family business. This is the story of the church in St. Anne, where the police turned up, where there was a church service going on, and they said, and the big word they used that the pastor was transgender. In other words, it was difficult. She was difficult. Now, this is not a random police patrol, Costa bus. They went to arrest the whole church. This is not a random police patrol. They went with cameras in tow. This is not a random police patrol. They had the Ministry of Health official for that region there. This is not a random police patrol. They had even the DSP there with his camera, well, his cell phone, taking pictures to tweet to the JCF Twitter online. The police spend more time on Twitter and Facebook than they do on the streets. I mean, recent videos also say they spend a lot of time doing other things. But this is the name of the game. Name them and shame them. So they did this broadcast. This is a message to Jamaica. If you try to defy this government, it is unethical, illegal, unconstitutional behavior. This is what we do to you. Just like they had the young man that, and while we don't support the language, UIC no way, shape, or form support the language used. Well, the young man that leveled a mass of expletives at the Prime Minister, he was placed on camera to apologize. I've always said to people that an apology doesn't remedy an occurrence, and I don't see what it is for, but it shows the simplistic nature of their thinking and the level of machination they go through, planning that they go through. So they went out there to name and shame these people. People look down on them, point them out as, oh, those are violators. And guess what is going to happen? After the vaccination program is over, those who haven't taken it will face the same stigma. Remember, I said that. They will face the same stigma. Now, prepare and do something about it. UIC will be working on an initiative. We'll get to that later. Deal with that because we are strident in making sure that Jamaicans are able to defend their constitutional rights. So we don't believe in name and shame and all these foolishness that the government is going on. We believe in proper governance. Government that is focused on what it is supposed to do, knows what it is supposed to do, and do it for the benefit of the citizens. That destroy the economy in foolish ways by restricting certain things and acting as a gatekeeper. As a matter of fact, we'll be focused on things like crime. Because right now, crime is a big thing, and the UIC is focused on crime. You know, our national security minister just flew $8.6 billion over 5 years, right? Which works out to be like 43 billion, I think, over the 5 year at our crime problem. Yes, money at the problem. So the monies that I showed you from the ministry, the 3.21 billion plus this 8 point or amount is showing 8.6 plus the 40 million, and you see how the dollars keep adding up, and you see how the national debt keep adding up. So yes, that is the strategy. The strategy is to create a bureaucracy, a new one, a new government agency, and make sure that they are in charge of solving our crime problem. And I guess it is necessary because our security minister is totally clueless and out of ideas as to what to do. And we can tell him what to do if he listens to the UIC. We released information as to how that can be done. Now, he has created Well, previously, the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee. That's one group doing his job. Now he has another group to do his job. So there are two groups of people doing the National Security Minister's job. So why do we need him? Why does he have a job? He has already outsourced his job. So all he's doing is collecting a paycheck. Just go to his office and just rubber stamp stuff. So now he has created the Citizenship Security Secretariat. Anybody ever heard of that? Anybody has ever heard of that? Please tell me. I'm sure you don't. I can't find any information on any of the government of Jamaica website. Went to the Ministry of National Security, went to the Ministry of Justice, went to the Office of the Prime Minister's website. No information. See, it's right here, and you can check for yourself. Only a few newspaper reports. And you know the kind of latest journalism being practiced in Jamaica these days. So anyway, here it is. Nothing on them. But the government has given them a massive chunk of our national budget and say, hey, go fight crime. So here's the questions. Here are the questions I'm going to ask about these people. What? Why is it top secret? Who's in charge of this stuff? Because they, like true Jamaicans, we did go begging some of that money. The European Union, the Inter-American Development Bank are all helping to fund this. And if it's not begged our money or borrowed money, then we wouldn't have gotten it done. But anyway, so we don't know who they're giving this money to, what you're supposed to be doing. There is absolutely no clear mandate, no outline, at least not in the public. It is top secret. We don't know about it, and these are supposed to be people who are helping us, who are working for us. But I am not surprised. This government is not a responsive government. They don't respond to access to information requests. The Ministry of Health, I sent them an access to information request, asking for specific information because I want to be informed, as I told you last week, as to what's going on. So I asked them for specific technical information and say, you know what, we don't have it. Let me ask the National Lab. It's 3 weeks now. I'm sure if they were asking the National Lab, they would have gotten an answer within 3 weeks. But let me continue. So they basically don't know what these people are doing, no idea what they're doing, who is running the show there, what they're supposed to be about. Absolutely no details. UIC believes that the government should be open. Citizens should have access to information about the government. As a matter of fact, UIC believes that there should be a government portal. Everything is accessible. If you look at the government websites, none of them are up to date, or very few of them are up to date. See, I checked 3. They've just announced these agencies, well, the Citizenship Security Secretariat, and it's not on any of the government's website for me to access that information. Not even the broad information about them. So the UIC would have a government portal where all of the information is accessible. Controlled access, yes, because you don't want the information to spew out in the public like jam COVID info. But at the same time, citizens should have access to it. That's what the UIC believes in. And the UIC will make sure that we keep our government from being bloated with all these agencies. Keep it streamlined and focused. As I said, when you have a big bloated government, you can keep your eye on all aspects of the government operation at the same time, which is what you're truly supposed to do. Monitor your operation, not monitor citizens' lives. Not take the responsibilities and the rights of citizens away and say, I'll do it for you, and then abuse it. It's okay. I will keep my rights. I will defend them and protect myself. You protect the country. That's what I want you to do. So you're at it, your usual trickery. And I said they're unresponsive. They don't respond to anything at all. I have a string of access to information requests on behalf of the people through the IC, which they have not responded to. I have a string of other personal matters that they have not responded to. But you know the sad thing? The sad thing is this. You might think, say, oh, you just write a little flimsy email and ask them what is going on, or send them a little note and post it. Hey, what's going on? No, that's not how we operate. UIC is a very structured organization that believes in protocol and most importantly knows how to act. See, we send them an official request. What can be more official than this? See, party logo is there. The date is there so they know when we send the request. President signed it to make sure you were very look. See, we were nice. We didn't rough them up. And look, party stamp is there, seal is there. What can be more official than that? Look at it. That's our official request to them for information. Well, this is not an information request, but this is an official document to them that they have not responded to, and all our documents are so similarly structured. So, my big question was, who does the Jamaican government serve? And I'm still waiting on an answer. I've asked that in the first program. I continue to ask who the government serve, because they're certainly not serving us. As a citizen, I've asked them for information and they have not even acknowledged my request. I've asked them for services and they have arbitrarily denied me. I've asked for an appeal and they have not responded to the appeal. I've asked for information and they have not given the information. No excuse, no reason. So, who does your government serve? Do they serve foreign interest when they look to increase our national debt beyond repayment, beyond any generation of Jamaicans are capable of, by borrowing so heavily and spending so foolishly? Are you keeping track? So yes, you do. Who does the Jamaican government serve? As usual, let me big up all the persons who joined us today. Everybody who's looking on, enjoying. Again, the newsletter is out. Get your copy. If you're a member, your outreach team, and definitely membership teams will be sending those out to regular members. If not, if you're not a member, that's cool. You know, you're taking your time to warm up to us. But come on board, we need all hands and all hearts to save Jamaica from this tyrannical government, from all tyrannical governments, to return power to the people, to make you sovereign and in charge of your destiny, not someone with a constitution bequeathed from our enslavers, create neo-colonialists to enslave the next generation, keep us undereducated and impoverished, while they create dynasties and exceptions for themselves. Don't cry, I won't let that happen. I'll keep bringing the information to you. So again, thank you for spending your Friday with me. I'm Winston Wright, Vice President for the United Independence Congress for the County of Cornwall. And this is Town Cry. I'm your Town Crier. Blessed, special weekend.